One of Australia's most expensive and awarded cheeses is or was made by two extraordinary people who ran their herd on what could be best described as scrub. Perfect if you're a goat. This is goat country.
Goats are browsers, they're not grazers, so you want them to have lots of dry bits of bark to pick up, dry grass, little bits, you know, eat a bit of tree here, a bit of grass there, a bit of herb there. They want the mix, and we've got that in this pasture with these native grasses.
When Anne-Marie and Carla came here in 2001 after 8 years of looking, they knew that Victoria's granite belt would be perfect for their goats. But more than that, the milk the goats would produce would be great cheese-making milk.
We looked at this farm and thought, goat country. It's dry and hot in summer and milder in winter.
The commercial temptation would be to knock down the trees and plant pasture.
But then you haven't got any of the support of the biodiversity in the insects and in the plants and in all the little critters that live in that space. And they bring all of this resilience, basically.
Like, so a symbiotic relationship.
It is. It's
more the better.
The soul of the farm is the soil and these beautiful reserves.
And how important do you think that is to the milk quality that the goats produce?
We think it's paramount because we want rich diversity in the herbage that they're eating. So they're eating some of these ancient grasses that Australia's had for tens of thousands of years. That in itself is going to bring flavour and diversity into our milk. The terroir is really expressed in our cheese because we've got our cheesery surrounded by this incredible environment. I suppose a point to mention, we couldn't make raw milk cheese even if we wanted to, because the style of soft goat cheese that we make is not able to be produced given the regulations and this particular style of cheese.
Now, you have a really interesting regime here when it comes to kidding and when you get your goats pregnant, which is different to anywhere on the planet.
Well, I think more people would like to try it, but you actually have to milk twice a day to do this. Traditionally, a dairy animal is mated every year so that it produces a kid or a calf to produce milk for your cheese-making setup. I think having long lactations is one of the cornerstones of our breeding system. In fact, our oldest goat was 11 years old, and she had one kid when she was 2 years old, and then she milked for 9 years. Didn't have to get pregnant again, produced no more kids, lived her life getting milk twice a day and living with her herd. It's a beautiful connection with your animals. And I think this is going to be a new way to think about a more ethical and humane way of managing dairy animals where they're kidding once every 6 years or once every 4 years. The thing that we did last year with our staff was to develop a vision, and the key feature of that vision is to honour the life of the goat from her birth to her death and travel that journey with her. And that really makes you think about her life.
La Luna is a lactic-set cheese. It has to be one of Australia's most awarded and rewarded cheeses. Sadly, no more. The milk is pasteurised at 63 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. Then it's chilled to 26 degrees centigrade. Starter cultures are added, and then it's left for around 20 hours. It's hand-ladled into hoops, drained and turned and salted. Then kept at 14 degrees, turned daily until a rind is formed. All the while accompanied by a common cheese yeast that has special powers. The power to make a fluffy white rind with fabulous flavour, Geotrichum candidum. There are 3 different forms and 64 different types of Geo. In France, they differ from region to region. It's not something you can get delivered. You have to wait for it to turn up. So they waited, and after 3 years, there it was.
We had the idea that in a cheese room that's already been functioning for a couple of years, it probably has Geotrichum in the room. And we just persisted with, leaving cheeses like fresh cheese, like if you had a little cheese without Geotrichum like this, leaving it out, see if it would grow any, pop it into the ageing room, see what would happen. And as soon as we found what looked like that's a bit of Geotrichum, we said, OK, let's add it to a culture.
According to Swinburne University, the Geotrichum yeast that turned up at Holy Goat sits on a different DNA branch than the other recognised strains of Geo. It's what gives Holy Goat its wow factor, along with that milk. After more than 20 years of milking twice a day and making wonderful cheese, these 2 remarkable women have decided to set up a nature covenant to protect their land and their goats, to plant more local habitat, to encourage the local birds and mammals, to essentially rewild their farm.
We live with a herd of animals. It's like an ancient tradition to be with your animals every single day, to be with them from their birth, through their life, to their death, to be responsible for them and to be engaged with them in a beautiful farm setting, and then to produce a lovely product that you're proud of, that you work hard every day, refining. You never stop learning. And I'm just really proud to be part of this industry.